Should you copyright yourself? I know that that sounds like a completely ridiculous question to ask, but maybe it's not. We live in a world today that is very different than previous generations. Those that, let's say, lived in the 40s, today they find this a very different world. And I think we all can agree with that. It is a different world. And in a world where there just seems to be so much about who you are and where we fit in society, and how we keep our individuality, privacy, it just gets crazy because we live in a digital world. And when it comes to copyright laws and definitions, you might be surprised that each and every one of us might think about actually copyrighting ourselves. So how do we look at the definition on this? Well, it's very simple. Here is the legal definition of what a copyright is. It is a legal right existing globally in many countries that basically grants the creator of an original work exclusive rights to determine and decide whether and under what conditions this original work may be used by others. This is usually only for a limited time. Ain't it always that way? The exclusive rights are not absolute but limited by limitations and exceptions to copyright law. Well, that's as clear as mud, including fair use. A major limitation on copyright on ideas is that copyright protects only the original expression of ideas and not the underlying ideas themselves. Now, some of you are probably asking, what did he just say? Exactly. So let's see. It exists globally in many countries. Basically grants the creator of an original work exclusive rights to determine and decide whether and under what conditions. Wouldn't you say that you are an original creation? There's only one of you. Those of you who have children, boy, this makes you think about that, doesn't it? Who is the originator, the creator? I always like this one. This is usually for a limited time. Yeah, life, it's limited, isn't it? So you have the exclusive rights that are not the absolute rights, but limited by limitations and exceptions to copyright law, including fair use. Okay, well, let's continue. Copyright is a form of intellectual property applicable to certain forms of creative work. Some, but not all, jurisdictions require fixing copyrighted works in a tangible form. It is often shared among multiple authors, each of whom holds a set of rights to use or license the work, and who are commonly referred to as right holders. So we could define that each one of us, our parents, were right holders, but we are the original. Anything that you say or do as a person is original. Wouldn't you say that? I mean, you could have 1,000 people jump, at the same time, but it's each individual who is doing the jumping. And I would definitely say that you, I, every sentient being, thinking, consciousness, awake, aware, even asleep, is intellectual property. At least to my understanding, it is. All right, let's go on. These rights frequently include reproduction, control over derivative work, distribution, public performance, and moral rights such as attribution. Well, each one of us can produce. I would think that you have control over your derivative works. Yeah, okay, let's continue. Copyrights can be granted by public law and are in that case considered territorial rights. This means that copyrights granted by law of a certain state do not extend beyond the territory of that specific jurisdiction. These type of copyrights vary by country. Many countries, sometimes a large group of countries, have made agreements with other countries how to act in crossing border situations and when national rights collide. You know what that's sounding to me like? I'll hold that thought. Now, let's continue. Typically, the public law duration of a copyright expires 50 to 100 years after the creator dies. Whoa. Now, I was just given thought, as you heard. So when the creator dies, listen, we're talking about copyrighting you as self. Let's go on. Depending on the jurisdiction, some countries require certain copyright formalities to establishing copyright. Others recognize copyright in any completed work without formal registration. Generally, copyright is enforced as a civil matter, though some jurisdictions do apply criminal sanctions. I would say personhood would definitely qualify as a copyright. Would you not agree? Well, this is interesting. So copyright, it could be interpreted in one point of view that this sounds a lot like citizenship. So how is citizenship defined? The definition of citizenship is the status of being a citizen, along with the rights, duties, and privileges of being a citizen. An example of citizenship is someone being born in the United States and having access to all the same freedoms and rights as those already living in the United States. Okay? Meaning of citizenship. The term denoting membership of a citizen in a political community, which membership implies reciprocally a duty of allegiance on his part and a duty of protection on the part of the state. Wow. Citizen, a person having the title of citizenship, who, as such, enjoys full civil and political rights. Well, in a monarchical state, he is often called a subject. Alien, a citizen of a country who is residing in or passing through another country. He is also called a foreigner. He is not given full citizen's rights, but is entitled to protection as to his person and property. Well, I can see a real battle shaping up here. So let's just take a hypothetical situation. So we go and file for copyright status on each of us. By reading this, it would imply, and I believe probably argued in court, that actually it's the state that owns you. You don't own nothing. You own yourself. No, excuse me, you don't own yourself. They own you. See how confusing that can get? I even got confused. So, copywriting, now we're seeing ownership This gets weird. So, again, should you copyright yourself? Okay, think about this. After you die, who will own you and your digital surrogate? This is reality, folks. This is not fiction. This is not just me, philosophically pontificating, etc., etc. The digital surrogate is something you need to give serious thought to. Stay tuned. There's more to come on this.